All right, everyone, welcome. We are going to be reviewing circles, and we're also going to be learning something called a tangent. We are moving right along, so we're almost there, guys. Just hang in there with us. So this is kind of to get you caught up if you weren't able to do this in class with your teacher and to go over the review. So this is kind of a catch-up video, all right? So segment outside. So a tangent is a segment outside the circle that touches the circle. Okay, circle at one point. It only can touch the circle at one point. All right, perpendicular. So here's the tangent, and where it meets up with the radius will make a 90-degree angle. Say what? That's legit. And then we can do something fancy with Pythagorean theorem, y'all. I know it's your favorite thing ever. It's back. It's here for more. It just wants to do more with you. It's like, hey, Pythagorean theorem, don't forget about me. So it makes this magical 90-degree angle. All right, so let's solve these based on what we know about tangents. Well, hello there. All right, so based on the tangent, so we're looking at the line that touches the circle only once, and where it meets up with the radius, hello radius, is it makes a 90-degree angle. Okay. All right, and then across the way is my hypotenuse, because it's across from the 90 degrees. So I've got 5 squared plus 12 squared equals c squared. I want to know what this side is. All right, so if you want to, you can draw a triangle again. So 5 and 12. If it's possible to listen, I would greatly appreciate it. It really does help to listen while you're writing so you know what we're talking about. All right, 5 squared is 25 plus 144 equals c squared. 169 equals c squared. Square root, because that's the opposite, and that is 13. All right, so this whole section is 13. 13 minus 5, because I want to find out what just this little chunk is, which is 8, okay, because 13 minus 5 equals 8. So this little guy right here is 8. There we go. All right, for number 2, again, here's the tangent, and it meets with the radius. The radius is the center to the end, and there's my 90 degrees. Yes, it doesn't look perfect, but life goes on. Across the way is the hypotenuse. 8 squared plus 16 squared equals c squared. So 64 plus what equals c squared? Finish, please. I know, don't leave it blank. Get it done. Try it out. Okay? And then once you add those together, square root both sides and find out what CB. All right, number 4. So 90 degrees is right here, because that's where the tangent attaches to the radius. So we're going to do 15 squared plus 10 squared equals x squared. We're going to find out what that x is and solve. So 15 squared is 225 plus 100, and that equals x squared. Add those together, and opposite of squaring is square rooting. And you find out what x is. All right, for number 6, we only want to find this outside chunk of the x. Again, the tangent is right here. It's outside the circle, and it attaches to the radius. Where it attaches to the radius, and we've got 10. Where they meet is 90 degrees, because that's the tangent and the radii. All right, so I have 24 squared plus 10 squared equals c squared. We're trying to find out what this whole thing is, and then I'm going to find out what just this chunk is on the outside. Okay, so the whole enchilada first. So I'm going to do 24 squared plus 100, because 10 times 10 is 100. 24 squared is 576. That equals c squared. 676 equals c squared, and I square root both sides, and c equals 26. Okay, so if the whole thing equals 26, and I only want to find a part of it, so this is 10, so because this is a radius and this is a radius, they are congruent because they're part of the same circle. So what is 26 minus 10? Well, that would be 16. So the outside section is 16 for number 6. FG, different types. So FG, F to G is the diameter. GH, G to H, holy cow. So GH would be a minor arc because that is less than 180. CE, so CE is the tangent. That's the line outside. GFH, GFH, holy cow, that's more than 180. So that is a major arc. HB, HB, well, it goes from the outside to the middle is the radius. GF, G to F is a semicircle. That's 180. Do you see this little line over it? That means an arc, and that means a segment. Okay, so the difference between an arc and a segment. So when they're saying CE, that's a line, right? Compared to GH, that's an arc. And then FGH, this is known as, that just means what is that angle? So FGA, well, that's this one out here. This would be known as an inscribed angle, okay? Compared to if we had FBH, that's called a central angle. So the difference between going through the center and then cutting through the whole thing. All right, the next one, CFE. So CFE, holy guacamole. It's asking you what the measure is, so you'd have to add up all of that together. So first, let's figure out how would you find out what each of these angles are worth. So if this is 90, this is also 90. If this is 108, this is also 108. And these two add up to 180. So that's 72. So this is 72 degrees because this is 72 degrees. Okay? And then these also add up to 180. Blop. So if that's 90 and that's 72, add that up. Subtract from 180. And you get 18. So this little guy's 18. That little arc. Boop, 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 bow, wow. 18. All right, so I've got 18, 72, 90. We've got 108. We've got to find out what that one is. So that would also be 72. Hey, look at that. Because this is also 180. Okay, so this is 180, this 180. It has to go through the center. All right, so CFE. So C, I'm going to highlight CFE, CFE, that whole thing. So I have to add up all those and figure out what that measurement is. All right, and then BDC, 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 BDC. They're just asking what this little one is, what the angle is, which would be 18 degrees. All right, AF. A to F would be 108. AF is 108. CB, CB, C to B is 18. It'd be the same as the angle because it goes through the center. It's worth the same. Arc compared to angle. All right, FDE, 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 FD. Where's the D? Oh, FDE. So we're asking about this angle right there. So that would also be 72. If the arc's 72, so is the angle because it goes through the center. All right, find the arc length. Okay, when it's talking about arc length, you have to do 2 pi r times what is that angle over 360. So AB. So AB is 72 degrees. So, and it says, that the radius is 6. Okay, so I have 2 pi times 6 times 72 over 180. So then I have 12 pi times 72 over 180. And I multiply across and reduce. You can just keep pi as part of your answer. All right, find the circumference in terms of pi of circle D. Well, the radius is 6 because it's right there, 6. So 2 pi times 6, so 12 pi. Okay, find the area in terms of pi. Well, the area is pi r squared. And if the radius is 6, you're going to do pi times 6 squared, which would become 36 centimeters pi. So, sorry, 36 pi centimeters squared. And then this, what would this be? Centimeters squared. Okay, so when it says in terms of pi, you put pi as part of your answer. Okay? All right, AB is the diameter. So if AB is the diameter, therefore this is 180, and therefore this is 90. Okay? So it says find angle A. So I'm going to add these up. So 15x plus 5x plus 90, and all triangles add up to 180. So I've got 20x plus 90 equals 180. So solve for x. Once you solve for x, on your own, solve this. So you should get 4.5, and then it asks you to solve for angle A. So you're going to plug it back into that one. So 15 times 4.5, and then that is your answer. Okay, find the value of x and y. So we know that these two add up to 180. Because that's what the rule is of quadrilaterals inside a circle. And we also know that those two add up to 180, and solve for x and y. Here's another tangent question. So again, here's my 90-degree angle because this tangent and this radius make a perpendicular, makes this 90 degrees. So I've got 12 squared plus 16 squared, and it's across from the hypotenuse. So I got to find this whole thing first. Okay, so first find out what C is. Okay, and you get 20 is the whole thing. So if this whole part is 20, how on earth do I find out what x is? Okay, well, talked about the radius. If this is 12, this is also 12 because they're both radiuses. So what is 20 minus 12? And that's how you find out what x is. All right, next one. So we did ones very similar to this on your guys' quiz. So 8 is the whole thing. So half of that is 4 for each one. It says that xy is 4, and boop-a-doop-boop. We need to know what the radius is. So again, Pythagorean theorems. We've got 4 and 4, and we want to know what the radius is. We want to know what this angle, what this segment is. So 4 squared plus 4 squared equals c squared, and solve. All right, the next one's about chords. These are congruent. Therefore, these are also congruent. So make them equal to each other and solve it on your own. So this review video is just to kind of get you set up. So solve for x, and then you're going to, so PQ, and then you're going to plug it back into that one. So x plus 17. So solve for x, move it over. Solve for x and plug it in. Solve for x using the inscribed angle. So this angle and this angle have the same arc. They cut the same arc. Okay? Therefore, they equal each other. So these equal each other. So 3x equals x plus 24. So subtract the x and divide. All right, thanks so much for joining me. Good luck on your guys' test. Work hard, get it done. We're almost there, guys. Countdown to the end of the year. Bye-bye.